The number of Russian fighters killed on the front line in Ukraine has now reached at least 70,000. An investigation by the BBC and the independent Russian news site Mediazona has been identifying the dead since the beginning of the war and found that the volunteers dying in battle are getting older and coming from poorer backgrounds. Our correspondent Olga Ivshina reports.
The faces of Russian fighters killed in Ukraine are changing. Now more and more men in their 40s, 50s and even 60s are volunteering for the front line. 62-year-old Renat Husniyarov was one of them. Before he volunteered, he had 2 jobs. Fighting for Russia, he earned 7 times what he did before. Russian authorities have repeatedly increased sign-up bonuses to attract men like Renat. He died in February this year. We don't know where exactly, but thousands of kilometers away from his home in Russia. Last month, Russian forces faced a Ukrainian offensive in Kursk, the first on Russian territory. The Kremlin claims this attack has encouraged more volunteers to sign up to fight. There are no official figures on the numbers of Russians killed, so since the start of the war, the BBC and its partner Mediazona have been trying to build a picture of what's happening on the front lines. We have been using photos of graves, social media posts and news articles to uncover the scale of Russian losses. So far, we have managed to verify that 70,000 Russian troops have died since the start of the war. The recent figures also show that for the first time, the largest group of men dying are volunteers, not regular soldiers or convicts, but men who have signed up after the start of the full-scale invasion in February 2022. A study from the Russian Ministry of Defense seen by the BBC suggests that many of those deaths could be avoided with better first aid and medical care.
They are fighting a battle where they're not prepared and might not have the needed equipment to fight. There isn't sufficient preparation, and there are also equipment shortages or non-existent equipment for which they have been prepared for those few limited weeks that they have done so.
As our count only includes deaths reported publicly, the true figure of losses is significantly higher. Asked for comment, the Russian government did not respond. Early this year, Ukraine acknowledged 31,000 soldiers had been killed, but estimates from the US intelligence suggest the number is higher. Moscow continues to push on, willing to exchange thousands of lives for small pieces of scattered land. Olga Ivshina, BBC News.